Please let us into the hotel. Only they're at the gym, not their hotel. By user unique agency 4,543. I was coming out of the gym and two guys were slapping key cards against the entry pin pads, somehow expecting it to work. They were clearly very drunk. They said, could I buzz them in because their key cards weren't working? As well as having misidentified the gym as their hotel, they had misidentified me as working there when I don't work at either. It took a full 5 minutes to get them to accept that this wasn't their hotel and I wasn't the receptionist. Normally, I'd have just walked off, except I was genuinely concerned they wouldn't make it back. They eventually accepted what I was saying and were quite apologetic about it. I pointed them in the direction of their hotel, which was only a 5-minute walk away. But in their state, I have no idea if they got back or how long it took them. An innocent story. By user From5. For context, this happened during 2021-ish at the IA16M. Just got off my work from a certain Canadian coffee shop. So me and my dad went to a bulk store. Think of it like Costco up, but no membership required. So we went in and my dad went to another of the store and I was just in the milk aisle. For context, I was wearing my work uniform, but the name tag and hat that said where I work was in our car. Anywho, a woman came up to and said, "Excuse me, could you please get that beverage on the top shelf?" At this, I should note that I was 6 feet tall at the time and she was like 5'2". So I said sure and I got it off the shelf for her. She then asked me if I could grab another one, so I did. At this, she asked where a certain product was, so I kindly told here. "I'm sorry, I don't where that is. I don't work here." And she chuckled, embarrassed, and said thank you to me. I meet back up with my dad said I just had an I don't work lady here moment and we left. Thanks for reading. Wholesome Pizza Pickup by user Crimson Ashton 17. Hi. This is my very first post here, and this just happened about within an hour and a half ago. I was at a locally owned pizzeria creamery in my county that's owned by a married couple that are old family friends of mine that I'll call Mr. and Mrs. Cliff. Anyway, I finished eating, so while my dad and younger siblings were finishing up theirs, I decided to help clean up the table by picking up all the garbage, used plates, and pizza pan. The layout for this restaurant is that when you first walk in, you go straight and see the counter where you order pickup with the kitchen right behind it. The pan return area garbage can is right next to the left of the counter where I was going to, and turning around to go back to my table when I noticed a woman coming up to the counter. I smiled at the lady and did a little head nod towards her when she said something I couldn't hear. So I stopped and said, "I'm sorry, what is it?" And she goes, "I'm here for pickup." I guess she saw me cleaning and putting the pizza pan up and thought I worked there. So while still smiling, I went to say, I can go get Mr. Cole. However, before I could finish my sentence, she goes, "Oh, you don't work here, do you?" I chuckled a little bit and said, "No, ma'am, I don't, but I can go get Mr. Cliff in the kitchen to check if your pickup is ready." As I was saying that, she was saying how sorry she was when Mr. Cliff returned from the kitchen without me having to get him. As she was getting her food, she apologized one more time while laughing and complimented my curly hair. I just said, "It's all right, and thank you very much. I'm actually surprised it isn't frizzing up with the rain today." She left while saying, "Have a good night," and I went to see my family finish with everything and my little brother dragging our dad to play a game of pool before leaving. After that, we said bye and good night to Mr. and Mrs. Cliff and went home. I'm so happy to have my first I don't work her lady story and for it to be a nice, wholesome one too. Why does this keep happening to me? By user Josh in Space. I wear a denim vest with a bunch of heavy metal patches on it on the regular when the weather is nice enough. When I go to the local Lowe's hardware store for whatever, it's not uncommon for some rando to start asking me questions like I'm someone that works there. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy to answer whatever I can, like what screws you use for what or where spray paint is. I'm in there all the time, so I know where things are, have basic handyman knowledge, etc. But I've had more than a handful of people think I straight up work there. The vest that employees wear is red, mine is blue and covered in band patches. How do people so routinely fail their observation checks so hard? I don't work here, but I can give you advice. By user Jinxton13. Perhaps this doesn't fit the sub. If not, I will remove. Today I made a quick stop at the store to pick up some basics. As I was approaching the flavored water enhancers, there was a woman standing in front of the product looking unsure. I approached quickly, took 3 of the flavor I wanted, and since I emptied that shelf pack, I moved the empty pack back and the full pack forward for the next customer. The other customer noticed and asked me if that was a good flavor. I said, "Yes, it's my favorite, and I like that it's clear and has no dyes." She thanked me for my help and grabbed one to try. I know she didn't mistake me for an employee, but thought it might fit here. Told her. Customer asked me for help and I helped her. Eta. Edited for spacing.